Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Trevor Ohlsen Show, episode 107, on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. I am your host, Trevor Ohlsen. It's good to be here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a fantastic week since I last saw you. Real quick before we get the show started, a couple little updates. If you'd like to support the show, if you've been enjoying the music, if you've been enjoying the podcast, if you've been enjoying Instagram, YouTube, anything that I do creatively, the best way to support it for those of you interested in doing so, you can head over to patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen, where you can sign up for exclusive content, an exclusive bonus podcast every single Saturday, 2 hours of content per month. For just $5 a month gets you kind of all the basics. So if you'd like to support the show, patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen. It's one of the best ways to support everything we got going on here in Los Angeles, California. And let's be honest, it's keeping me from joining the unhoused, as they're now called. So patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen. Let's get into the show, folks. Oh yeah, one last thing. One final little reminder. Be sure to go check out Friday Night. Add it to your playlist, save it, download it. Be sure to follow me on Spotify. I've seen lots of growth over there, and tons of people messaging me since the episode that we're about to discuss here, episode 7 of Allt for Sverige. This is Talking Allt för Sverige, episode 7, the Trevor Ohlsen Show, number 10, whatever I said. So let's jump into it, folks. What do we got here? So this was a fun one. This was a fun one. And it's because Brett was no longer around. No. It was fun because of, it was a music episode. And I think I said something along the lines of, the weeks just kind of got better and better as the show progressed. And during the reading at the coffer, the trunk, coffer, I don't know. Coffer, when we were told that we were going to be recording music, when we were told that we were going to see a concert, when it was a complete musical theme for episode 7, I was very excited about it. So was John, and so was everybody else. And the most well-received episode, I would say, for me personally, hundreds of people followed and messaged and were very interested in learning more about the music. And so, let's talk about it. So we were told that we were asked if we could write a song, basically. Behind the scenes, they're like, listen, we want to do a music episode, we're doing this, we're doing that. Can you write some... Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Can you write some music? Can you write a song for the episode? I said, oh, fuck yeah, of course. I'm a singer-songwriter, bro. That's what we do. And so, funny story about that. So, when it comes to filming and being on a television show, at least with this one, and I'm assuming with others, there's a rigorous filming schedule. So, long hours of filming, long hours, just long days. So, when you do get a break, it's very well received and much needed. And we were quite a few weeks in now, and I myself was quite worn out. And we had 3 days vacation in Stockholm, and man, I was looking forward to just eating the breakfast buffet and lying around the hotel, just jacking off, just relaxing, watching some Swedish television, not understanding anything. I just wanted to relax. And it was just prior to this break that the producer, that we were asked if we could write a song by like Monday. And it was 3 days away. And we're like, sure, yeah. So 3 days passed, and it was like I was doing laundry at the hotel, and that's a whole nother story, because I had to pay, without exaggerating, $400 to do a load of laundry I tried to dispute it with the hotel. Multiple people got involved. It wasn't good. And at the end of the day, I just said, fuck it. I'll pay the laundry, so you'll leave me alone. I'll pay for the laundry. We'll talk about that another time. Or even maybe later in this podcast. But 3 days had passed, and like I said, much needed. And basically, it was 9 p.m. at night, and I hadn't written anything. No, we tried as a group to get together and write, but we had like 5 people working on stuff, and I'm a songwriter. Sally is an author, which is writing, but it's not songwriting. But she definitely contributed. And John's a music producer, so he's involved. And then the rest of the group, it was just when you get too many people together to write something, there can be a lot of clashing. And so when we try to get together and write, it wasn't heated or conflicted or anything like that, but we just didn't really come up with anything good. And we just kind of spitballed ideas at this laundromat because in Stockholm, a laundromat, by the way, that sold beer as well, which was fun. And so we threw some ideas around, but didn't really have anything, didn't have any melodies, didn't have any sort of foundation to build off of. And so 3 days pass, it's 9 p.m. at night, I'm doing laundry at the hotel now, and I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, he asked us to write a song, like, I'm tired. I'm worn out. And then John comes into John goes, knocks on my hotel. Oh, the dog's going to freak out now. That was just me, Gracie. It was me. John knocks on my hotel door. He walks in. He's like, hey, dude, we got a note from the main guy running the show. And it was a hand-delivered note to the hotel. And it said, basically, can't wait to hear what you came up with. Looking forward to it tomorrow. And I was like, oh, fuck me. Shit. And so I was like, well, I'm just never going to get this laundry done. And I was like, I'm just going to write a song. I'm going to just write something. So John went off to his room. He started working on some stuff. I said, come back when you've got something for me, basically. No, I said, come back whenever. And I just, boom, I whipped out the chorus, and then I whipped out most of the verses. John contributed as well. And so at that point, basically, we just needed to give the producer something. And, I've written hundreds of songs, so it's something I do. And it was quick. And so I wrote it in like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And John had a little bit to do with it. Showed it to the main guy the next day, and he said, oh man, I got chills. And I was like, I fucking pulled it off again. Fooled them again. But, and then as a group, once, it was much easier once we had a vibe, a feel, a song, to get together with the group and then make adjustments. And I will say, with 5 people working together, it really went very smoothly compared, because I wasn't married to the song either. I was, as far as like, it wasn't necessary. It wasn't like my baby or anything like that. I've had songs like that where it's like, no one's playing this except me. No one's changing anything. This is my song. It sounds like this. Whereas with this song, I was like, I knew I had to be creatively flexible and allow everybody to contribute. And, I was hoping that they could contribute, and they did. And I remember so we had the song, and then we all got together, like 5 of us, whoever was left, and we adjusted. Basically, we went through line by line, and everybody was like, I like this line, I don't like that line, I like this one, I don't like this, I don't like this, I like this, I like this. And then we just shifted it from here and there, a word here, a phrase there, took out, I think the melody pretty much stayed the same, but shifted also slightly. And ultimately, the song ended up being better, which is great. It ended up being better than it was when I had just written it, when me and John had just written it, when everyone contributed. And the bridge is, I didn't write that at all. That was John and Sally, I think maybe Nikki too. I don't remember, but I know Sally and John for sure. Um, but yeah, and they wrote that the day we were in the studio. Like basically, I was in the I was recording vocals, I was recording guitar and a number of other things for the track, and we got to the bridge section. And I was like, I don't know what the bridge is, so let's go see and let's see what it is. And I walked out, and they're like, "Oh, here's what we got." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna record it." And so it was just like that. But ultimately, the song came out sounding quite nice, and it's a decent song. It's a good song, and lots of people have been asking about the song as well. It's like, where can they hear it? They want to look it up. They want this. They want that, which is great. Yeah, coming soon. Just keep an eye out for it. You guys are probably following me on Instagram. If not, just head over to Instagram, Trevor Ohlsen Music, and any updates on that song and other songs will be posted there. So all I'll say is just hang on a minute, be patient. Things are in the works. Things are in the works, folks. Which is great. So the to be in the studio setting was really fun, and it was for me. It was just like another day, because I'm in a studio right now. I'm always in the studio. I'm just always writing, always performing, always doing something, and so I felt very comfortable in there. It was fun. What else? Let's see. So yeah, song coming soon. Keep an eye out for it. Yes, and we had a nice little conversation with Anders. Funny, they didn't put it in at all. That was one of the best conversations that we had the whole trip, in my opinion. Lots of times like we do the school thing where we're like learning, and this time it was really more so just a conversation, what our thoughts on Sweden, and we had I thought, a good conversation on Sweden's viewpoint of marijuana. And it's funny. It's like we have a wide variety of people with Sally being, I don't know if she's atheist, but like an intellectual atheist, agnostic. I'm not going to claim I know what she is. John, who's like more spiritual. Nikki, who's a Mormon. Me, who's like, I consider myself religious. And so we had this large, growing up in a Christian upbringing on my end. And so we had this large difference amongst people. And yet all of us as Americans, we were like, yeah, weed's fine. Like who cares? It's weed. I personally don't think that you should smoke it until you're 25, till your brain is fully developed. That's just a personal... I think that's smart, because there's definitely evidence that suggests it will affect your brain development before then, and we don't want that. So, but other than that, I think just use it responsibly. My viewpoint on drugs has done a 180 since I was a kid. I thought drugs were bad, because that's what we're told. Drugs are bad. Drug abuse resistance education. Don't hit that spliff. No spliff. None of that. Drugs are bad. Just say no. And then as I got older and more educated and really just educated myself through books and podcasts and people who are experts in the drug field. A bunch of crackheads. Drugs are fine. Teeth are just dangling. My viewpoint on it completely shifted. And if you're interested in learning more about the war on drugs, I think the book Chasing the Scream by Johan Hari is excellent. It's an excellent book, and he talks about how the drug war started, and basically he talks about it from where it started to where it is today, everything in between, and different policies that have been implemented in different parts of the world, and the effects, and very interesting. So if you're interested in hearing about that, I would highly recommend that book. Johan Hari, he's one of my favorites. Swiss British journalist, Chasing the Scream, great book. But we had a very good conversation about marijuana, and I was kind of bummed that they didn't include that at all. But that's the show. We talk for 10 hours, and then they take an hour basically. They need enough. Yeah, and it's interesting because I felt Sweden is so far ahead. I was like, they're so energy efficient. They're up on fashion, which is right below energy efficiency. Uh, I mean, you guys just you see it was almost like stepping into the future a bit. I was like, oh, this is what America needs to get to. Like, it's better here. It's cleaner. That was my initial reaction. But then it felt so sort of primitive and behind with regards to drug policies surrounding marijuana. But is what it is, All different countries hold different viewpoints. All right, and then we get to Erica. Erica shooting down targets in Panama City, Florida. 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 Yes, Erica's story. About time. About time. Final episode. No, not final episode. Episode 7 finally gets to Erica and her story. And very cool. Erica being in the military, serving, and for her to find out that many of her family members had been in the military surprised her, which I found interesting because a lot of people join the military. Maybe not a lot, but people join the military if it's generational. Sometimes. And I kind of assumed that that's what she did, but then I remember her, but then she's like, I'm the only one who joined the military. She always wondered why she felt like she should take that route. And then she finds out that many people in her family did exactly the same thing. And so it's amazing. It's the military in Erica's blood. It's the music in mine. It's just fascinating. And I don't know if it's in our DNA, if it's in our psyche, if there's a collective unconscious that we have access to, if it's just all of our ancestors' past live experiences, accumulating into the future into like our brains. I don't know what it is, folks, but it seems to be the case that throughout generations, a lot of us do what our ancestors did, even if we don't know it, if we were unaware perhaps that we had generations in the military, even if we were unaware that music went back to the early 1700s. We have these sort of natural inclinations, these proclivities for certain interests that we're drawn to naturally, and a lot of times it seems to be the case that it's due to the fact that our ancestors were interested in the same things. It's fascinating. Fascinating. So Erica's story, blah, 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 cry, 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 Erica. I hope she's watching. Beautiful story. Again, very happy. And quite the timing, I would add, on the show's part, because Erica had lost her father 3 years before to the day. And I think she said something along the lines of this. I might be wrong. But as painful of a day as it is that everybody experiences, the anniversary of someone's passing, she at least now on that same day, she can remember her father's passing, and not only that, but she can have the beautiful memory of everything that she learned on the show, the day 3 years in to the day. And so I think she's got a good balance there. I don't know. I was happy for her to learn what she did. Eric and I get along swimmingly. She's Erica's a straight shooter. She's honest. She's opinionated. She's blunt. She's direct. And she really doesn't give a fuck if she's liked or not. And that's why she's so attractive to me. Settle down, Erica. Not sexually. But like as a human being, I know you want Erica, but I gotta tell her to watch this now. But that's what's so attractive to me about her is just clear, direct, honesty, transparent, not trying to be anything, not pretending to be someone you're not. And I think a lot of us do that. I'm sure I have, but. And I think that probably just comes over time as we become, as our identity solidifies and we have a better understanding of ourselves. I imagine that just comes with experience and age. And also, you probably, when you're like in your mid-30s, you don't give a fuck what people think about you. Just like, whatever, who cares? Like, who cares? I'm good with me. So, really admire Erica for a lot of reasons, but that's definitely one of them. Yes, little concert, Daniel Adams Ray. Fun concert. Hadn't been to a live show forever because the United States lost its mind with regards to COVID and live shows and everything else, as the world did. And just really, really sort of revivifying, one might say. Revitalizing, I don't know. Just wonderful to experience live music and to see the show and to meet Daniel. It was really fun. We just had a great time. And we said we'd keep in touch. I reached out to him. He never got back to me. So Daniel, you're a liar. What's up, bro? No, I just shot him a message on Instagram. I don't know. He probably didn't see it. But fun concert. Really enjoyed it, and really, at the time, reminded me of the importance of live music and how good it makes people feel. Because I had done plenty of shows, but I hadn't done one in so long because of COVID that you forget. And so just to see his performance was really, like I said, it was just re-energized me. And then finally, folks, as we're coming to a close here, we had the little surprise, the surprise of the episode where all of a sudden 2 people get to have a family reunion. And it came down to some coffee beans between myself and Sally. But prior to that, it was the intellectually challenging contest of measuring with centimeters for the stupid Americans who only pay attention to inches and feet and not meters. We're going to get you off that metric system, Sweden, Europe, everyone else. Yeah, I had the good technique of being like, oh, look, 12 centimeters, a zig, 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 zag, boom, good to go. John second guessed himself. So John and Erica out right away came down to me and Nikki and Sally for the next challenging competition of moving some water around and getting approximately to a certain level. I don't even remember the specifics of it, and then Anders they do the competitions in Swedish, so I don't even remember exactly what I had to do. Something with 3, 4, 5. I had to get like 4. I don't know. But I did well. I got it. And I loved how dramatic they made it too. When Nikki's still like measuring, Sally's still measuring, and I'm standing back just looking like, I think I'm done. And then I'm like looking, and the music intensifies, and then I walk up and I grab the bucket and just, it was funny how dramatic the music choice made it seem. Like it was this big, intense decision on my end. Like, maybe a little more. There you go. The closest person is Trevor. That's what Anders doesn't sound like, but apparently Anders is French. This was the closest Trevor got. This was the closest. What else? Yes, and then it came down, of course, obviously, to Sally and I with the coffee beans. Who would have known the weight that coffee beans might hold? You might be surprised someday, folks. Maybe you guys are going to end up on a television show, and you're going to have to measure some beans. And you're going to go, wow, this actually feels important to me, when it's not. But in the moment, it is all you're thinking of. You're like, this is why I'm here. This is why I came to Sweden. To see who could put more beans in a jar on a scale. But Sally, admittedly, outsmarted me, out-techniqued me, just made me look like a fool. I resent her to this day because of it. I have not spoken to her since then. That kiss on the cheek was a goodbye forever kiss, Sally. And no, Sally ends up winning the family reunion, the second one. And I almost just thought that I gave stuff away because I said Sally wins the family reunion. So Sally wins the smaller family reunion, and has the day with her family, and she goes, "This is my family, Sweden," which they make you say. I remember she was like, "Oh, I just didn't want to say it. It's too silly. Don't make me say it. This is my family. Hi." I was happy for her. I was happy to see her with her family. That's fun because again, we just hear about it, but to actually see it, even if it's in edited form, it's fun to see, and happy for her there. And we're moving on now to the final episode, folks. The final episode, going through puberty still, with Nikki, John, Erica, and myself. And who's it going to come down to, folks? Who's it going to come down to? We'll just have to wait and see. But I will say, man, it has been fun to watch these episodes every Sunday along with you guys, or Sundays, Mondays, whenever we're watching them. It's been very fun. It's been like a nice little surprise every Sunday. Admittedly, as well, I'm bummed that it is coming to an end as much as you are. I just wanted to keep going on. Episode 87. Let's have 100 contestants next time. And just one episode, one contestant. Boom. Let's do this. Let's make a 102 week show. 102 week? 104 week? 100 week? Wow. I'm surprised I'm surprised I made it through that water spout thing. But yes, folks, it's been very, very fun to discuss these episodes with you guys. And yeah. What else? We're coming down to the end here. I've got 3 minutes to fill? Easy. It's easy to fill when you're a narcissist. Oh, I should tell you guys. And this is not important, but I was just doing it. I was out in the backyard. Some of you might have seen this on my Instagram story. But sitting out there having some coffee, enjoying the sunshine, having a little breakfast. I look up. What do I see in a palm tree? But a great horned owl staring at me. And it was very, very cool. Because I would just I'd walk around, and it would just do this. It would just go. I'd walk that way, and it would just... Whole body still, eyes just locked in on me. The dog came out and started running around. He didn't even twitch. Didn't even look at the dog. Locked on me. He's like, "Who's that? Might have to fuck you up." Like, it was interesting the way that they look at you. There's an intensity to the way that an owl stares at you. It's kind of menacing. It's not like a friendly, like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, there was no like head nod between us. We didn't talk about each other's families, or what kind of music we're into. It was just like, will I hurt you if I need to? It was like, I will hurt you if I need to. That's the kind of vibe that I got. It was also kind of like, I'll fly away if you try to climb up this palm tree vibe as well. He'd probably just fly off. But it was cool. It was very cool. And completely unexpected to see an owl midday in a palm tree in my backyard in Los Angeles. Fascinating. I just bought a bird book, so I spent like 20 minutes. I was like, which owl is it? Which owl? Went through all the identification markers. I'm like, what's the plumage? What's the shape? What's the flight pattern? It was cool. And it is, in fact, a great horned owl. But all right, friends, just like that, as always, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank you guys for watching. And be sure to head over to patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen if you're interested in supporting the show. Like I said, if you've been enjoying the music, if you've been enjoying Instagram, YouTube, the podcast, everything, the best way to support the show is at patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen. Tell your friends, tell your families, or I will come and physically assault you. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll be back on Patreon this Saturday, and then we'll be back for free everywhere on Wednesday on YouTube and everywhere else you can get your podcast, discussing episode 8 of Allt för Sverige, the final episode of Allt för Sverige. So keep doing your thing, keep moving forward. Thanks so much, and we'll see you then.